What's happening, everyone? We're back this week with another off-season vlog, and as the title of the video suggests, I'm working with a new coach. So I think even for myself, when I see someone's working on a new coach, I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? All like, oh, what happened there and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I've been working with Patrick Chur for 18 months. I started with him at the start of the last lockdown, and Patrick was a bodybuilder that I'd followed since I was a teenager. Obviously seen all his athletes come up, and obviously in the past 5 years he's coached some very notable IFBB pros, and still does, guys in the Olympia stage and whatnot. So I went to him. I just wanted a different perspective. You know, I wanted to see what a coach who is at that level, what he does and how he brings about the results he has and whatnot. And it was one of the best investments I've ever made in terms of bodybuilding, in terms of learning about particularly the training. Patrick's known for his SST system, which is its own system of itself, but in terms of, he incorporates some stuff from his SST system into kind of your regular kind of training, working sets and back offs and whatnot. That volume approach was something that definitely benefited my physique, having done the heavy loading for a long time. Now, I felt I kind of peaked strength wise maybe 2017. I've never really, apart from things like deadlifts, I've never been able to match, for instance, in 2017 I squatted 260 for 8, that's my all-time PB. Unfortunately I didn't get it on video, so technically it doesn't count. But yeah, I've never been able to go back up to that point. Now, is that because that was 5 years ago and I've kind of aged me a bit? Granted, I'm only still 29, which is still a baby in bodybuilding, but is it at a point where my body just can't handle that? Or is it the fact that maybe back then I was super fat, which I'm not willing to go back to at this point in my career? Who knows? Anyway, so Patrick's training system came in, and with the high volume, that different approach, it definitely revamped my physique, and it definitely brought a new look. Definitely a rounder, fuller look. In terms of nutrition, as everyone knows, Patrick keeps it very simple. Definitely worked with sources that definitely helped my gut health, because before, in my off seasons, I was throwing anything in to get calories in, anything to get carbs in. So there was a massive shift on that front. So working with Patrick was a dream come true. It was an amazing 18 months. We got a great look at we obviously got the overall, the Two Bros qualifier, my first Two Bros show, and came second at the first Arnold Classic UK. All of which, so, I mean, coming second at the Arnold Classic, what a fucking result that was. I wanted to win, obviously, but that's not the reason why I've decided to go to another coach. I've not thrown my toys out the pram because I didn't win. There was just, so basically, it's probably helpful if I told you who I'm going to. I've gone back to my good friend Nick Vandal, who I worked with through the second half of my junior career and the first 2 seasons of my open bodybuilding career. So the reason being I've gone back to Nick is because I felt that I missed seeing a coach one-to-one. I missed that kind of back and forth that you can only get really face-to-face. So I live in Glasgow, Nick's just down the road in Kilmarnock. So that's only a drive away, so it's very easy to link up with Nick if I wanted to see him face to face. That is the number one reason, because I felt photos and my feedback weren't enough on that prep to convey what my body was doing. I felt it needed an in-person second opinion to make that decision. There's also the fact that although I had amazing results with Patrick, Nick and I have won everything except the Mr. Universe. So there's that track record there. We won a lot as a junior as well, and it's funny, I was looking through old photos, because obviously you compare, right? We're all human, so I was comparing my Arnold look to the 2019 PCA look, and PCA British overall win. And the overall win look was insanely full. I was 234 the morning of that show, and I look a lot bigger than I did at the Arnold. There was obviously glazing issues, which I glazed over in the previous vlogs, but to look that full and that big at 234, to trump a look where I'm definitely bigger in terms of I gained a lot of muscle with Patrick, was kind of the kicker for me. And I felt that look was achieved because I was able to see Nick at one point daily, when Nick just worked around the corner from my old gym, and we were able to be like, right, this needs tweaked, that needs tweaked, we can push, and whatnot. Also, the other side of things with working with Nick is that Nick and I, because of the relationship we have, it's almost a two-way coach approach. I technically would make a decision and Nick would agree or disagree, i.e. a second pair of eyes. But at the same time, if I sent Nick check-in photos and he said add X amount of cardio, I would do it. So the dynamic that Nick and I have, I don't feel I can replicate with any other coach. Nick is insanely knowledgeable, he's insanely harsh, in a good way. He's a man of few words. So all the things that I like to have from a coach, that carries to other sports I've played. When I played rugby, that's how my coaches were as well. My first mentor, first coach, Graham Park, he was the same. I've come up in the sport with guys who just tell you as it is. They don't try to stroke your ego. They don't try and babysit you. So that's the kind of person that I feel I work best with. And Patrick was very much like that as well. Man, a few words, just kind of told you as it is. And that's great. That was fantastic, and he got me shredded and he got me huge. I just, obviously, you want your preps and your everything to be as pristine as possible, and I feel the one-to-one interaction is what is going to bring about an enhanced look to my next show. And I know that if I had combined the condition that Patrick got me in, combined with, don't get me wrong, Nick got me in phenomenal condition as well, but combined with the fullness that Nick and I were able to achieve, and the dryness we were able to achieve, and the show day peaking we were able to achieve, I feel that look is insanely competitive. So there you go, that's the reason. Hand on heart, that's the reason. Yeah, so moving on, we're talking about next show. So right now, I've not ironed out everything in terms of registration, if the show's actually going to go ahead because of COVID and whatnot, but I'm hoping to do the Arnold Classic USA on the 3rd of March. The amateurs usually compete first in the Arnold weekend, so I'm assuming it's the 3rd of March, because it's between the 3rd and the 6th of March. I already stated that the next show was going to be the Arnold UK in September next year, but Reagan and I were driving down to Durham to train at Ultraflex. Reagan was asleep, and you know when you're just driving down the motorway and you just have time, because British motorways are fucking boring. So I wasn't really listening to what was on the radio, and I was just like, I don't feel I'm done. I don't feel I'm done yet. Granted, I did not want to compete this year after the Arnold. I said that Arnold, that was me done, 2nd of October, prep's over. So I didn't want to do a later show like Denmark, and watching, obviously, when my mate Greg go through, still on prep, that kind of makes me ill. So I did not want to. I didn't want to do Denmark or any later show. But also we're 4 weeks post show now. It's kind of all the bodybuilder cliche, like you spend 2 minutes out of contest prep and you feel like you want to go again. But I still have more to give. You know, in 2019 I'd done 6 shows, 2 of which were British finals at NABA and PCA, and 1 was the Mr. Universe. So 2 wasn't enough. 2 wasn't enough, and especially considering that the regional 2 rows I walked that. There was no competition really. I don't care how arrogant that sounds, there wasn't. And at the Arnold, I didn't bring the look that I thought I could. So yeah, the combination of those 2 things have made me just think, right, what's next? I want to do a show as big as the Arnold. I want to do one at the Arnold UK. I want to do a show that's insanely competitive. I don't want to win, you know, fucking nowhere stands pro qualifier. I don't want that. You know, I want to be up against some mad physiques on an insanely prestigious stage. And what, other than the Amateur Olympia, which hasn't actually been around as long as the amateurs of the Arnold, but what better stage than the original Arnold Classic in the USA to try and get my pro card? So there we go. That's the goss all wrapped up in one vlog. So 16 weeks out is 2 weeks today. Now, I don't need 16 weeks, which is nice. So basically, what I'll be doing from the 16 week out mark is not necessarily dieting, but it's locking in. It's locking into the fact that we've got a show in 16 weeks. So, has my eating been poor since coming off the Arnold? No, it's been the best it ever has been on a rebound. By a country mile. So, but you know, like for instance, last night before I went to bed, my last meal was oats, whey, peanut butter. I had 2 slices of toast, a banana, nut butter, and a bowl of cream of rice and walnuts. Now people might be thinking, "Oh fucking hell, calm down," but that's the kind of things I like to take out going forward from the 16 week out mark. I've got a cheat meal today with my training partner Chris for his birthday, and then Saturday the rugby's on. Scotland are playing Tonga, so I definitely want to be eating something while watching that. The weekend after that, Reagan and I are going to a spa retreat on one of the Scottish islands on Arran, and that's everything until we go to Dubai on the 20th. So if we all wrap everything together, just to kind of sum up this vlog, it's been going on 13 minutes. New coach, new/old coach, Nick Vandal, although he's one of my good friends, I regard Nick as one of the best bodybuilders that have come out of the UK, and it's amazing to be able to work with someone like Patrick, who you idolise, and I've always idolised Nick. I saw Nick winning everything that he's won as I was coming up through the junior ranks and everything. So it's great to be back working with one of my idols, and someone who I look up to is not strong enough. You know, words can't actually describe how much I look up to Nick. So it's I'm actually so happy to be working with Nick again, and I'm sure we're going to bring a very, very competitive look. And then we've got a show plan now, kind of. You know, we need to wait and see if we can iron out all the edges. But the Arnold Classic USA on the 3rd of March in Columbus, Ohio. And in that prep, we'll be in Dubai for 2 weeks over Christmas and New Year. There's going to be obviously some off-plan eating there, but I expect to be in really good shape by that point, because that's 10 weeks out, I think, by the time we go out. So get to compete at the Arnold, hopefully, get to work with Nick Vandal again, and I get to prep for 2 weeks in Dubai. You know, those 3 things have me so fired up to do this that it just feels so fucking right. Now, granted, I might have to eat my words, and I might not be able to do the Arnold for whatever reason. In terms of travel restrictions, they get lifted on the 11th or something for America, so that hopefully should be an issue. But we'll see. Obviously, registration for the show isn't even open yet, but that's the plan. So the motivation, I didn't think the motivation could be any higher. And obviously, I've got Reagan in my corner, who 100% I wouldn't be able to fucking diet as hard as I did without her. Training partner Chris McGinn. There's just the level he pushes my training to. I thought I can train pretty hard. I think I can, I took my physique to a new level between a junior and a men's open without really training with anyone. But Chris was on me all through that entire prep to make sure that I didn't fucking pussy out of sets, and he really knows how to get every ounce of training out, every ounce of energy out of me, which is brilliant. And I've obviously got Greg Taylor as well on my side. Even though we compete on stage, he's still one of my best mates. So, and a guy at that level himself, egging me on. Granted, I only listen, like, going forward, Nick's word is gospel, but obviously Greg knows his shit, and he's a very supportive friend, and that's my team. I've got, I hate that whole cliche fucking team this, team that, but it's true. I mean, bodybuilding is a team sport, even though it's me that kind of is standing on stage. The four of them, and obviously my clients, all my other friends, don't get me wrong, they all play a part, but I've got something good here, and I know I just feel it feels right, and I feel ready to go again. I've still got a wee bit of issues with what's the word? It's a fucking stupid word everyone uses now. Food. Well, I'm constantly thinking about food. That's still there, quite a bit, and it's kind of got worse. So as my food has increased, my training's increased, I've obviously put a bit of muscle tissue back on. I'm starving all the time. So what was my point of that? I had a point there. But no, I'm ready. I'm ready to fucking go again. And once I get a few more cheat meals out, I've got that break in Arden, nice wee time with Reagan, and I'll be ready to go again as of 16 weeks out. And yeah, see where I stand on an American stage, which is a new stage for me. I've stood on British and a European stage, so it's going to be very exciting. And these vlogs will soon be X amount of weeks out from the Arnold USA, touchwood. So, bit of a longer vlog today, but I thought I'd just give you some good insights, some good goss, fucking gay. But yeah, it's all happening over here, and very excited. So continue up with support, guys. I really appreciate everyone who reaches out, everyone who sends me questions. It means a lot that a lot of people kind of listen to what I say, because right now I feel I just fucking ramble. I kind of got over the whole talking to the camera shit. So yeah, I appreciate everything, guys. Stick around, stay tuned. 1 or 2, whatever.